Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Drop Frames. Bike Man, what episode are we on?
Episode a lot. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Put it in the title so I can cheat.
Okay.
What language is that?
Yeah. What number is a lot?
Oh, good Lord. 934.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And we went way back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're still, we think we're still starting the show out. We're still tweaking a couple things here, this early on. So we'll get it together.
Yeah. Every time we start the show, we ask Ko what episode it is, and I think he's up to the 7,000s right now.
Yeah, I think so. No, I think we eclipsed 8K, something like that.
Did we?
We might even be like at 89. I think the last time he said something was like 89. So 8900.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Zeke's back from Japan wearing his hardcore candy. Wait, are you still wearing the hardcore candy jacket? Did I spoil it?
Hardcore chocolate.
Hardcore chocolate. Sorry.
It's a different one, but yes, I am wearing a.
Oh, you've got the hoodie on.
I've got the hardcore chocolate hoodie on.
Nice.
RCC baby.
Now, what is
I love it, man.
What does the breast part of that hoodie say?
The funny thing is, I don't know specifically, or I don't think I know exactly, but I picked up the sweater and Google Translate, like the app, you can put your camera up.
Yeah.
And it'll like if it senses lettering, it'll like translate it for you. And I put it up to the sweater, and it's like glitchy. It's like demony, like poltergeist.
It's
like flashes words
back and forth.
It just like flashes words because it's trying to catch, especially if it's like in weird writing, not like block writing or typeface.
Right.
So it'll try and grab it, and it'll just flash like different words. And the word that flashed on this one was mayhem. And I was like, I don't even care what it says, dude.
Okay.
I don't care if it actually says mayhem. I love it.
I'm trying to see if anyone in chat has actually translated, but no one. We have no weeaboos in the chat, as they say, to translate for us just yet. So I'm sure they'll come around. Bike Man, apparently this is your 8th time on the show, according to chat. I don't think that's accurate.
Chat had to tell me that because I didn't count.
I don't think that's accurate. You're up.
No?
You're definitely
Okay.
up there with the most. Tally might have you beat. You're probably like second most on the show.
Cool.
4 or 5, something like that.
Reminds me of SNL hosts.
Right. Yeah.
Steve Martin had that thing where he was trying to outdo
We're going to
Chevy
give you
Chase.
the 5 jacket.
Yeah. We'll introduce the 5 jacket. Right. Yeah. We'll get the hardcore candy guys to get some jackets for drop frames. That's the next sponsorship.
You could get it somewhere way cheaper. I'll just let you know that.
Well, you got to treat the 5-timers. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. So yeah, we've been playing obviously video games. There's a bunch of news going out. Borderlands 3 finally revealed, as a lot of people thought, that it was or that it is a 6-month exclusive. We'll be talking about that. We're taking some of your questions if you guys want to submit them. I'm sure the mods will be spamming that link up. If not, you can go over to the Drop Frames Twitter and find that link. We'll be doing that towards the latter half of the show. And then we're just talking about all the games because Bike Man's been playing some Onward. I've been playing some Risk of Rain 2. I think, Bike, you checked out Risk of Rain 2 as well, right? Should we just start
Just
there?
a little bit last night, yeah.
Okay, let's just start with Risk of Rain 2. Who are you playing with, by the way?
I was playing with Bert, Cletus, and Gassy.
Okay, what now? Before we jump into Risk of Rain 2, were you a Risk of Rain 1 fan?
Never touched it.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
it's important to note that.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? How are you feeling about
I
Risk of Rain?
was having a really good time. I have more good time than I thought I would have. It was kind of neat. Yeah. Usually I don't like that type of game, but it was fun in co-op.
Trying to pull. Did you guys not play that much of it? I literally just see the starting screen.
No, we definitely played a bit.
Oh, here it is. Weird. It wasn't showing that much. Okay. Anyways, this is some.
That's
Risk of
probably
Rain
because Comcast crapped out during the night. Might have split my VOD or something.
2. I think it did. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a good time. I really liked it. I like the sense of. I could see what what was that game where you're like the fetus running around everywhere that everyone was addicted to?
Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. I can see why people love Isaac. Like runs, collecting power ups and getting lucky. It's like a lotto, getting lucky with the power ups. And you're like, oh, I got a good combo, so now I'm really powerful. I like that. That was pretty cool.
How far did you guys get? You said you played it a little bit. Do you know exactly?
We were having a little trouble with team cohesion, a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of grabbing stuff and not sharing was going on at first. We got better as the evening went on, but yeah, we didn't really like unlock any characters or beat the third stage as it got really hard.
Yeah, this is one of those games that I feel like it, and I've talked about this on broadcast, and I understand why it's not there, but I feel like for players that are just jumping into Risk of Rain 2 for the first time, it needs like personal loot rather than everyone can loot anything. At any
Right, like
point.
client side, yeah.
Because like it very quickly, and I'm interested to see if it was the same for you. It devolved into who can get loot the fastest and who can try to one up another person in your group.
Yep.
And that does not work in this game because it's a PvE co-op game, not a PvE I'm the best game. So yeah, it's a little rough sometimes when it comes to that. Did you guys experience any issues with loot whores, as they say?
I was guilty. I was
Really?
guilty
You were the loot
last
whore.
night.
Okay.
I was the loot whore. I kept not thinking about it, and just like after the boss would die, I'd run around and get all the drops like in the ring up next to the teleporter.
I get it.
And a lot of people were just really like protective about like not saying anything when they found big piles of boxes.
Yeah. What's up, Zeke?
Point of order. It's loot sex worker.
Loot sex worker. Okay. Sorry.
There you go.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Apologies. No.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it
Sanitized.
up. Glad you brought
Hey,
it up.
language changes, man. Change with it.
It does.
Oh yeah, okay. I wanted to see some gameplay because this is drastically different from the first Risk of Rain.
Yes.
The first Risk of Rain, it was all pixelated. You were really, really tiny. Like this is like
It's-
third-person action rather than like a 2D platformer now.
Yeah, and I've heard like mixed. So from my point of view, I did not play Risk of Rain 1. I'm familiar with what it is because I watched a lot of Lethal Frag play it back in the day, but I did not play it myself. So I'm not bringing that with me to jump into this. I enjoyed Risk of Rain 2 a lot. I've actually played it a decent amount off stream as well, but I've heard a lot of conflicting reports that a lot of people that enjoyed Risk of Rain 1 do not enjoy this. They feel it to be not the greatest way to kind of move the series forward a little bit. But I can't speak for those people. But
Someone in chat just said it plays and feels just like Risk of Rain, though. They did a good job, like in like total contradiction of what you just said.
no, yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
is
either you
that-
love
is
it or
that
you
the
hate
general
it.
consensus, though.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say general consensus. I think it's just split. Like, I feel you either really like this game or you really are kind of like on it. I will
Those
say
number fonts look definitely the same. Those are very, very reminiscent to the.
Oh yeah,
original version.
there's definitely like visual similarities. I don't think this game, and I haven't played it much solo, but I don't think this game plays that well solo. At least for my interest, I think that this game is best when like played with other people. Especially in the early levels, it feels really slow, which I think it's obviously by design. Like you're ramping up, you're getting gear, you're doing all that stuff very slowly, but it's. Having started with playing multiplayer and then going back to playing single player, it's like painfully slow for me. Almost to the fact where it's like I'd rather just have like an AI running around with me to have more mobs to fight or do that type of stuff. Because it was unbelievably slow, like 15 minutes before it got super crazy. But with that said, it's awesome with fans. Or not fans. It's awesome with other people. I don't know why I said fans. That's such a weird word to insert there.
All right, king shit. Don't worry about it, buddy.
I don't know
Everybody's
why
a fan
I
of
said
you.
That was weird. It's awesome with fans. I just like playing with my fans. Okay, I like the fans. That's what can I say? I'm all about hashtag fans. Sorry, what were we gonna say, Zeke?
In Risk of Rain 1, there was a lot of verticality to the game. Is it more planar now, or is there still like a bunch of like
Some levels are, some
jumping
levels
up
aren't.
and
This level
Okay, okay.
specifically is like you can see if I pause it like right. Well, no, you can't. In the background there, you saw some chains. This is right there. You see like right above me. This level goes up probably like 3 or 4 different tiers of the level, I guess you could say. And
Yeah,
like
a lot of jump geysers.
yeah, and you get things like there's a power up that I'm forgetting. I'm sure chat will say it in just a sec. That allows you to jump, and you can stack it obviously. So if you get like 4 of these feathers, you can jump 4 times, one after another. So you can get like, and there's even you can get like a equipment that basically allows you to fly. And so then you can just fly around all you want. And sometimes the teleporter spawns all the way up there, which is kind of a fucking annoyance when it does, because then you obviously have to go all the way up there to spawn that stuff. But yeah, it's good. I really enjoyed this.
Did you play the first JP? Did you say?
No, I did
Bikeman
not.
didn't.
No, but
You
I'm
didn't
familiar
either?
with what it is.
Okay.
In watching like Lethal Frag play for hours upon hours. Yeah, this is the best part of the game. This particular equipment item is basically like a black hole from Overwatch, or just a black hole in general. And you shoot it out, everything like starts running towards it. And if you have the appropriate like AoE attacks or AoE items, it makes for really fun moments of just a billion numbers popping up on your screen just like that, and you just absolutely obliterating everything, which is a lot of
Satisfying.
fun. Yeah, it's super satisfying.
I have a question.
Sure.
I
can ask
didn't
those.
unlock any of the other characters. Is there like default different, like machine gun?
Yeah, so I can talk about the characters because I ended up unlocking all of them in about probably 10 hours or so.
Cool.
This is the mech. This is seen as the most overpowered character. So much so as the developers out there saying like, yeah, the mech's broken. We're going to nerf it a little bit. He has 2 different He has like 2 different modes, which means you can use 2 different pieces of equipment. So this is one mode, which is like this machine gun mode, and the other one is a like rail gun that has really far distance, but the rate of fire is obviously much slower. And then he has that sprint that you just saw, and he also has just a shit ton of base health. Like I have 1,253 health right here. I've gotten up to like 2,000 health before on him picking up different infusions and items like that. But he's very strong. The rate of fire on this attack makes it so if you have some of the items that will like do different chain lightning attacks and things like that, it procs a shit ton, and so you can just really destroy stuff very, very, very quickly. Some of the other characters I don't have that much time spent, but there's like a mage character that I think Strippin was playing a lot of. I might even pull up some of his VOD because it plays very, very differently, specifically from this mech character. There's a mage, there's a merc, which is basically Genji. The merc is probably the hardest one to unlock. You have to basically do a full cycle of the game, like all 8 courses, and I think a certain amount of time maybe to get the portal to like jump through and then unlock them. But he plays exactly like Genji. He has like an air dash where you can chain it up to 3 times. He's got, if you ever played Dota, he basically has Juggernaut's ult. He has an Omni Slash where he just like locks onto the target and slashes it a bunch of times.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's got like a whirlwind attack that kind of like jumps forward, so you basically get an extra jump just from the whirlwind. If you click that, you'll move a little bit forward. And then his normal attack's just kind of like a 3 attack combo. But yeah, he plays completely different from any other character. What else is there? There's an engineer who can throw out like turrets and like mines. I have not spent very much time with them.
That's what Cletus was playing yesterday. He was throwing the mushroom, the heal thing on his turrets.
Yeah,
and then he would stack his turrets. You could just stand in it and like face tank bosses all day.
Yeah, he's really strong for bosses, apparently. The Huntress, which is this right here, Strippin was playing a lot of the Huntress. It's actually, I think you just have to survive for 3 rounds in a row. She's one of the easier unlocks. But she actually has like auto aim. So you just hold down the button, and as long as you're within range, your attacks will just automatically attack and automatically hit. Yeah, she has really low rate of fire, which you can see here. But she does pretty good damage. She also has the ability to do that like teleport blink thing, which is super good if you're trying to kite a bunch of bosses. What else am I missing? There's the engineer. There's the base guy.
Quite a
the mech.
few.
Yeah, I think there's 6, maybe 7 right now in the game, and they have a couple more slots that aren't filled, like 3 or 4 slots that aren't filled. But yeah, it's super fun. It's one of those games where you can jump in with friends and like kind of play mindlessly and still have a pretty good time. But you can
also destroy your friendship, stealing stuff.
yeah, you can definitely destroy friendships, stealing items from one another. And if you want to take it seriously, like if the best people in this game or the best groups in this game are the people that know what is good when it comes to stacking on certain characters. So it's this idea of like, oh, okay, we got 4 ukuleles from killing this boss because you get 1 item per person that's in the game when you're playing co-op. So let's give all 4 of those to this guy because it's going to work really well with his other items that he has right now. And then in the next round, we'll see what we get and maybe like split that amongst the other 3 people. That type
I'm
of
assuming
stuff.
there's no dropping, trading, nothing.
No, there's no
that.
trading. You can't do any of that. Which again, I don't know how you could play this game, and I don't even know if this game has it, to be honest. But if there's any sort of like matchmaking that's just public matchmaking, there's no way to like converse with people except for a pinging system, and it would seem like absolute fucking chaos. Chat's saying there is. I don't know if that's how you should play this game because you're just going to be getting upset at other people when they start like taking every good piece of loot. Granted, you can't get every piece of loot yourself, so maybe that's how they balance that out because it takes a certain amount of money that you have to gain by killing mobs. If you've never played Risk of Rain, it's kind of the general idea is load in, kill mobs, get gold, grab items, go to the next thing, do it as fast as possible, and keep doing that over and over. Because if you see in the top right, it has the difficulty, and that slider is always constantly moving and getting harder and harder. And eventually, it just gets to a difficulty that just says ha 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 ha, and that just goes forever. And like bosses start spawning as normal mobs and that type of shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's bad. Also, this right here is a very unlucky, like very rare, almost to the point of like, if you see burning mobs as your first mobs that you're fighting, just leave the game. Because it's the burning.
They hurt.
Yeah, burning dots in this game are very, very broken and very, very strong. You can see I just got clapped there. Then like an additional 70 or 80 damage was applied to me. And this is when I was still learning. So I think I'd die from that blast right there. Or I got very close to it. Yeah, I'm like trying to run away. So the burning stuff is a little crazy, especially on the first level. And then, I think the longest we went was an hour, I think is how long we lasted in one of the games. And at that point, it's like, if you don't have defensive items, you're going to get hit and just get one shot, like right out of the gate. There's certain mobs that you have to kind of understand their attacks, which you will after just playing for a certain amount of time. But like that stone golem has an attack that like locks onto you, this like laser beam thing, and then will follow you around for a certain amount of time. You have to line of sight it. There's this giant like jellyfish mob that will do like it does like this big pulse AoE, and you basically just have to line of sight that and go stand behind a rock or something. If you don't, it hits you for like 60-70% of your life. So the different bosses have different mechanics like that, which is always fun and kind of creates a sense of tension if you're not responding to them fast enough. All the different mobs have certain things that they do. So yeah, I think it's great.
Does it have the same like progression and that the first game had? Like you would collect items, hopefully get a good build, you get up to this level, and you can possibly make it, but it would be better. Like you unlock shit along the way, you go back to the beginning, do it again.
A little bit, like that. Yeah. I didn't pay too much attention to what I was doing achievement-wise to unlock other items. I know that those things exist. Like if you kill 15 mobs at once, I think it unlocks a certain item, then that will always drop in your game. There's a bunch of different achievements that are tied to that stuff. I wasn't paying too much attention to it, but I kind of feel like every time that we played, we were generally doing okay. Granted, there's a leaderboard each day for a thing called a prismatic trial, which is kind of like your set run where everyone has the same seed. And that's a completely different type of game that I was not playing. Like those people are just they are on their shit.
There is a seed system then.
Yeah. So for the prismatic
was there one
trial.
In the first game?
I don't know if there was or not. I kind of feel like, and maybe I'm completely wrong here, but I kind of feel like Spelunky popularized the idea of like seeding, or maybe it was Binding of Isaac that did that. I don't know if Risk of Rain had anything like that in the first one. I know it has it in
Isaac
here,
was the first game that I remember like putting it into great effect. Like I almost said effective effect.
Nice. Effective effect. We're on it today.
Yeah.
We got
Putting it
fans and
into effective
effectiveness.
effect.
Our fans are super effective. Yeah.
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 For those of you who played the first one, is there like tons and tons more items in this game than there was in the first, or is it similar or just a little bit more? Like, where are we at on the item list?
I can
'Cause
speak.
I'm guessing like the roguelike or whatever this genre, whatever you call this genre, gains its traction and its following by just adding more and more synergies and yada yada yada.
Yeah, a lot of chat is saying
way
a lot
less.
less. Yeah, because it just launched in early access. This is not full release or anything. And
Yeah,
I
they
think
have a lot
that's
of,
the
like, work in progress
Oh shit, I
things,
missed
yeah.
that part.
yeah. Well, I didn't
sorry.
say that because to me, like
Oh,
the game doesn't feel early access at all. Like it's very well. There's not. We never had any like game breaking bugs or any like it just worked. So the idea that it's early access and that they're just going to add more in terms of items and characters and all that stuff is super fucking awesome.
well, you could tell like the devs of the first one really liked the game. It was a really, really polished, mechanically, very solid game, and it was a pretty goddamn big success.
Yeah.
So you can be sure that the people who made the first one, after they made some money, they'll be like, I don't think they would release something like that because it's not because of any other thing than my opinion. Like I feel like this game had love in it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, someone in chat just kind of hit the nail on the head for me. It's like you're used to the wrong kind of early access. This is how it should be. I agree with that statement unbelievably to the 10,000%. Because like usually when a game comes out of early access, it's the buggiest piece of shit that like sometimes you can't even get in and play with people, or there's like one level. This, I think I've put, I don't know, 15, 20 hours into it. Granted, I'm doing the same thing. Like you're still playing the same
Yeah, that's
levels.
the beauty of roguelikes, right?
Yeah, yeah. Is you can kind of release in that way, and it will be fine. You won't have people like me complaining about it. But yeah, like it was a great time. The cool thing too, I don't know if this still is available. I think it actually is closed. But when I bought it, they basically gave me a free code to give to someone else. So it's like, oh, here's the game, and here's an extra code for the game that you could just give to a friend to play with right away. So here you go. And that was a great like way to get word of mouth out about the game. I think that they did super well. That was through the 30th. So yeah, it's over, which is unfortunate, but a great way to like kickstart I don't want to say kickstart, a great way to jumpstart the whole thing on Steam, because I think it did pretty well in terms of sales. But yeah, it's
But
fun.
you can buy it early access right now. It looks like.
Yeah, you can still buy it. You just don't get the free game with it. Is what I'm saying. That
Oh,
ended
okay,
on the
okay.
30th. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's some stuff I hope they add in there. I would like to see like maybe like a noise or indication when your cooldowns are up.
Yeah.
I'm like forgetting to look and make sure. I'm just spamming buttons, and if it didn't work, then I wasn't cooled down yet.
I definitely noticed on my mouse like the right click is worn down now after playing this game, because you're holding down left click and you're just constantly going like click, 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 click. Even when it's not up, you're just like
or something. Yeah.
click, click. So I just found myself doing that
just-
non-stop.
You just need one of them. You need a really fast drinking bird,
Yeah, to just be there. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or like set up a metronome or something.
exactly.
Get that click.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
When did it come out into early access? It says March 28th. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. It was like it was the morning that Borderlands 3 was announced, so that was last Thursday is when it.
Well, this speaks to how popular and how beloved the first one was. March 28th, it came out, so that's 6 days ago.
Yeah,
Already has almost 8,000 fucking reviews. Just reviews. That's not how many people bought it.
jeez,
How many reviews it has? It has 7,800 reviews on Steam. So like
that's kind of crazy. No,
Yeah.
is it overwhelmingly positive? What is the actual review right now? It is. Wow.
overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. It's a hell of a thing. One of those games that like you can play solo, and it's a fine time, and you'll find yourself like definitely being tested in terms of difficulty. But I think this game shines with just like grabbing a friend or two and just jumping into the game. And it'll very, very quickly develop into like, oh man, I got this cool item. I think it gives me like attack speed. And then like 4 hours later, it's like, hey, don't fucking pick up that attack speed because I need attack speed, you asshole. It works for my fucking hero really well. Give me the fucking item. And then an hour or so after that, it's like, all right, look, you go the mage character.
Right,
You go the mage character because, you know, you can kind of do stuff with that. I'll go this guy and we'll make sure that I get all the on-hit abilities. And then you go that character because it's going to work really well and synergize with this. And let's do that. Let's try that out this game. And then that'll work. Like there's
for
clear
those of you-
stages.
Not familiar with Steam speak, overwhelmingly positive. 96% of the 7,800 people were positive.
Wow.
Were good reviews for this game.
That's good.
That's what overwhelmingly means on Steam.
Yeah.
At
Then
least in there.
maybe my statement of people seem to be split on this then is completely off base because that's fucking overwhelmingly positive. 97% or 96%, whatever you said on Steam is kind of nuts. So it's worth it. How much is it, by the way, if you still have the Storm page or the Steam page?
$19.99.
$19.99? Okay. I think it's worth that.
Yeah, that's another great thing. It's like that's a perfect price point.
Yeah. I think it's worth that. I think it's a perfect price point for sure. So, Bike, you guys going to play more of it on the
I could definitely see us playing more of it, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I put about 20 hours into it. I'm kind of I unlocked all the characters. I'm kind of at the point where it's like, okay, I got my 20 hours. Like, let's wait for
I'll at least play
more.
till I unlock stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, let's wait for some more updates and when those
I want my
updates come
unlock
out.
endorphins.
Yeah. Because if you like push for unlocks, you can do it in like 6 or 7 hours very, very quickly. But if you're the type of person like me, like once you have it all unlocked, you start to see like, well, we're not actually getting better. We're just fighting for loot now. So maybe I should just play a different game.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, I realized like, well, there's not anything like really to play for except to see the numbers get bigger. And that's fun, but maybe I'll put it down for a little while. So
Well, does it have the you have to compare it to what you know. So like, does it have the Isaac hook? Do you think because I know it's still in early access stuff. Do you foresee it having Isaac hook, meaning you have to beat the game in different ways, in different fashions, with different weapons or different characters and stuff like that to unlock more shit?
I don't know if it's there yet. And to kind of expand on that, like there are the amount of items in the game, which seems like a lot. I was still able to do the same type of build like 3 or 4 different games in a row with this specific character. Like I was able to stack attack speed, get crit, get those are crit classes right there. Get like a ukulele so I can chain lightning and get like a gravity bomb 4 or 5 games in a row. And so if it does get to the point where, you know, I don't see those items all the time and I start seeing different items that will allow me or force me to play differently, I think that might be kind of a cool thing. And I think that's kind of what happened in Risk of Raid 1 because there was so many different items out there that forced you to play a certain way because of what was dropping. Then that would be cool. I think that would definitely create a different type of replayability where you're not always kind of seeing the same items every single game. Because you definitely are at this point. That's not to say I didn't enjoy that. Like, it's really fun, like I was talking about, when you can drop one of those gravity bombs and see the numbers just fucking explode. Like, I died on this one boss after we had been playing an hour, but I had so many power-ups that the way that the gravity bomb like sucked in all the mobs, I had enough things. I think they're called will-o-wisp, which detonate when a creature dies. And me just attacking these creatures caused enough of a chain reaction that the boss on difficulty on like the 9th level or 8th level went from full HP to no HP as the animation was occurring that I died. Because the chain reaction was so frequent within this thing that it eventually just exploded everything, and the boss went from full to dead in like a second.
That's satisfying.
Which was super satisfying, but I died. But I was still like, fuck, all right, well, let's go again. Let's get ready to get back up. Yeah, let's queue up. That was really cool. That was a cool thing. I never like got upset when I died either, which I think kind of speaks to the game's fun factor, because it was like, all right, cool, let's jump back in. I want to get some more items. I want to get back there. I want to get back to that point where I felt like a god. So
Yeah, I was stacking attack speed last night, and then I got like when you hit enemies with your basic attack, it heals you. So that like worked really well together.
Yeah, the leech
Yeah,
seed's
I was
really
like,
good.
ooh.
Yep, it's good. What were you saying, Zeke?
Reginald was saying in chat, a cool addition to this particular game that they probably couldn't do in the original because of the pixel space, but when you pick up a weapon or an item or an add-on or whatever, it actually adds to your character.
Oh yeah.
You can see it on your sprite.
Yep. The items go on your character.
That's dope. I love that.
Yeah.
That was like one of the little cool like quality of life things that Isaac had, was like you pick up different things that make your character look different. Like, you know, you pick up like the quad shot and you have like spider eyes.
Yeah.
Like
it's
like,
pretty funny.
Cool. It's pretty cool.
The attack speed item is called the soldier's syringe, and it's a little green syringe. And if you stack those, you look at like the right side of your character, and in like their thigh, they have like 10 syringes just jabbed into their fucking thigh for the item. So it looks kind of ridiculous in that sense. I think the other cool thing is we were talking about like RNG and item RNG. If there were a couple games where they have things called 3D printers, which might have been in the base game. I'm not sure if they were, but a 3D printer is if it's a 3D printer for a soldier syringe. A soldier syringe is a common item, so it's a white item. And you can put in any white item that you possess, and it'll give you a soldier syringe. So if you get that in like the second or third level, which we've gotten like 2 or 3 times, you can stack up to like, depending on how many white items you have, you can stack really, really high attack speed right out of the gate. And that type of stuff is really fun when it happens, because attack speed is really good, obviously, for a lot of different the different characters that you can play. So that stuff was super cool whenever it would happen. I think more stuff kind of like that, if they add in more similarities or similar things to like 3D printers or items that are stackable in that sense from 3D printers, that type of stuff is really cool when it happens. It's like getting a good seed.
Because it wasn't risk-free either, because the printer takes a random item. So you could be like, oh, attack speed would work great with this, but I might lose it in the 3D printer if I try to get another syringe.
Yeah, exactly. There's a risk reward there for sure, which is fun in these types of games. So I see a lot of people too saying that like they don't necessarily enjoy playing like a 3D FPS. Totally get that. If you don't like aiming with a mouse or a controller, probably not the best game for you. But I will say, like, there is a pretty low skill cap for aiming in this game. It's not difficult. You're fighting targets that are ginormous on your screen, so you don't really have to worry about, like, you don't have to fucking be Shroud to play this game, right?
Nope.
Like, you don't have to be good at aiming whatsoever. The only difficult part of that whole aspect is like keeping up with your cooldowns. And that's probably where the skill comes in. That and like knowing the different item builds for sure. It's mostly spamming though. The cooldowns are all like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And you get items that will like actually give you a second shot right out of the gate or decrease that, the cost of it, in terms of the time gain. This is the jellyfish, by the way, that explodes. We were talking about that, but yeah, all the items kind of change that stuff. So you're constantly just like pressing all the buttons at once, which feels really good. It's spammy in all the good ways for sure. So highly recommend it. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely think it's worth playing for sure.
Now you probably already said this, but I was answering someone in chat, so I might have missed. You were talking about aiming. Did you talk? Is it precision or is it just pretty general?
Not at all. It's pretty general. Okay. Yeah, like you're fighting mobs like that are just huge on your screen. So it's like, oh, I can, and I don't. There's not like weak spots. If you're hitting the mob, you're hitting the mob. I don't think that there's, at least in the bosses in the game right now, there's no weak spots on mobs from what I can tell. Crits are occurring from item numbers, not because you're hitting them in like a weak spot. So
right.
Yeah, so that's Risk of Rain. I recommend it.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's good stuff. Play it with friends for sure. We didn't really go into like how that game actually works, but ultimately you can jump in and within 5 minutes you're going to understand exactly what like the loop is, what the gameplay loop is. It's not difficult at all. So do it. It's $20 on Steam. Highly recommended right now. Curious to see where the updates. One what they actually do in the updates, and two, how frequent they are. Because, like I said, this launched on Thursday, so we'll see how frequent they are in those updates. Hopefully it's fast, and hopefully they are putting a ton into that game, because the first game did have a lot as well. So I think the community is probably wanting that stuff.
Minor thing off topic. Can you zoom me and Bikey out a little bit? We're like huge compared to you.
Oh, I guess I was like leaning forward. Yeah, we'll do like that, and
there we go.
There you go. Now you're looking good. Where to go for this? I guess let's talk. This game's been out for a while, but we haven't had anyone on. Burke had not played it yet, and I know Bike Man, you've been playing a lot of it. So, what is Onward? I've heard it described as...
Oh, it's Outward.
It's Outward. See, I call it Onward, and I think people...
I call it Outworld all the time.
Outworld, Onward. It's a weird game. It's a... I don't know if I agree with that.
Oddworld?
Oddworld, yeah. Outward. Outward, I think, is the VR game, maybe. Anyways, I've heard this game described as like a weird Oblivion or something. I don't know. I'm gonna let you do it because I don't want.
It's mostly like, I would say it's mostly more like Gothic and a little bit of Dark Souls, but it's misleading to say it has Dark Souls combat because then you expect like really diverse enemy attacks and shit like that. But like it's more like pacing of the combat where you have to like make sure that you're blocking and take your time. That's basically. But yeah, the game's really cool. Like unexpectedly addictive to play. Now, it feels really good. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, like at a base level, do you choose a class or what is like the start of the game?
No, you start as a default guy, and then you can like basically just go find trainers around the world to specialize, or just choose a weapon and like be like, I want to learn everything about this weapon.
Okay.
And be good at it. Yeah.
All right.
And it actually has an interesting magic system. You don't start off with any mana. You have to go to this giant mountain in the middle of the first map, and then go down into the caves and find like this mage like area, like where the conflux of magic flows underneath the world or whatever. And then you have to choose how much of your stamina and health you want to sacrifice for mana.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I went total glass cannon and sacrificed 50% of both.
So is magic really strong then?
It can be very strong. Yeah.
And
like when you're melee, you have to be really good about blocking and positioning. And when enemies hit you, depending on your armor, you take a lot of damage. Like you can get messed up real bad. But with magic, you can kind of like kite things and like, you trick them and get good like angles and like range damage and stuff like that, especially with the fire stuff they give you at first.
So to reel it back just a second, is this an open world exploration game with RPG elements? Did I hit all the buzzwords? It is an
open world survival RPG, yeah.
Survival, okay. And how intense is the survival aspect of the game?
You do have to prep. You have to keep some food on you at all times and water. But it's not that difficult. It's not like they starve you for it to the point where you're like, oh God, as long as you walk around, there's plenty of resources. You can kill some creature or find some water that's clean somewhere, or at least boil some.
Yeah.
That you're not like, oh God, this sucks. I can never find any food or water. Like you're fine as long as you like do your due diligence and walk around a little bit.
Okay.
But when you go into dungeons and stuff, like you're gonna want to have that stuff stacked on you.
Zeke, you have a really confused look on your face, so I'm curious what's going through that brain.
Nope, nothing to do with this game. That's why I wasn't interrupting. No. Okay. I was trying to remember if I talked about a game last time I was on, and I was talking to chat, and I had that look on my face because I was like, I remember doing that, but I don't know if it was on this show or Court of Swords. So
okay, noted. Gotcha. You mentioned different maps. Are those story based in terms of how you progress through them, or is it just
you
get
can
to the
do
edge?
The story, or you can just wander around? Honestly, they give you a choice.
Okay, and
you can follow the main plot line or just do whatevs.
And then to get to the other maps, is it just hit the edge of one and it loads you into the other?
There's a few paths. If you look at the map, there's like a few like arrows on the edge of the screen. They're like, okay, that one goes to the swamp, that one goes to the forest, and you need to have like 3 travel rations on you to go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of exploration, does it reward it with like cool items?
It really does, because there's a lot of really unique items in the game. And like you can see my backpack right there. You start off with like a crappy like little cinch sack made of leather. And the larger the backpack, the more stuff you can carry. And also it affects like your speed, your run speed, and like your roll speed. So a lot of times if you're a melee character, you are pushing a button and dropping your backpack on the ground and then going to fight. So you'll be like, all right, this is a good backpack drop-off point. Let's go in there and then fight dudes and then come back and get your backpack again.
Can people steal it? Can you lose it? Like, is there any detriment to dropping your backpacks like that?
If you die, I think it stays there. I've never done it myself. But yeah, you actually can't die in the game. You get a random event if your health goes to 0, and then you wake up somewhere else. So it could be like bandits kill you. You wake up in a dungeon and now you're bandit slave. Or someone miraculously comes and saves you and pulls you to safety and leaves like a note. And they're like, hey, I gave you some stuff. Be careful next time, And you're like, oh, wow, that guy's a freaking angel. You can get dragged back to town. People have woken up. And the person was like, now you owe me 1,000 silver. So you're in debt. So
do you have to pay them or can you just say fuck you and fight them?
I don't know. I just know that you wake up in debt sometimes.
Okay.
In fact, the game starts with you in debt.
Really, I guess what I'm asking in terms of how open this game is, can you just tell someone to go fuck themselves and start fighting them if they give you a quest or if
No, you can't kill NPCs that are friendly. You can't do that. Yeah.
Okay, so no friendly NPC killing. Gotcha.
No.
Okay. And then in terms of the cities, like what are we talking about in there? Is there different traders, crafters?
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of traders for like alchemy, general trader, the blacksmith, the mage, and all that other stuff. And then there's also trainers, and you can go to them and learn different skills. Now you can learn like the first few skills in every skill tree as long as you have the silver to do it. But then each skill tree has like a chain in the middle of it with a skill, and if you have 3 chains, you can choose from. Like, so if you take that, that's 1 less. So you can only take 3. So you're like, I want to do the upper level of this skill tree, then you need to like spend your chain on it.
Can you respec or no idea?
I have no idea.
Okay. Huh. So it seems pretty much like I kind of seeing like this is going to sound
no respec, chat says.
No respec. Okay, good.
Yeah.
This is going to sound destructive, I guess, to the game. I'm trying to phrase it properly, but like,
I just
is this
saw,
like oh yeah,
all that shit going through, and I was like, we fucking chat turning into Rodney Dangerfield. No respect.
I got no respect.
I get no respect. Fucking old.
Is this like a budget Elder Scrolls game?
Yo, I'm so ugly, my backpack dropped me and went into combat. I get no respect.
Jesus.
Okay.
Oh wait, wait, you get a free bowl of soup with that hat? Oh, looks good on you though.
Yeah, is this like a budget Elder Scrolls game, Bike? Is that a fair statement?
I mean, the Elder Scrolls games aren't exactly the most, stable.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess sure. I think I would compare it more to Gothic, honestly.
Okay, see, I didn't play Gothic, so yeah.
It's just really, I guess, sure. I would compare it most to maybe Morrowind, I guess.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more freedom than the other Elder Scrolls games, and they've done a really good job of item diversity. So when you find something that's cool, you're like, wow, like I bet like no one else has this, and also the way the sandbox works, where like people have told me that they've had run-throughs and like and run into these like a demon like was like, sell me your soul and I'll give you awesome stuff. And like, I never saw that like in the same area that they did, or a traveling merchant with like a reindeer that like you see him in random spots around the world, and he has like rare stuff every now and then. And there's just like lots of like cool little things thrown in there. You can tell the devs like had a really good time making the game, and it shows. I mean, it feels really fun to play, to me at least.
I see the items here in the item management. You've talked a little bit about the ability of, or the act of finding like a rare item. What are we talking here in terms of how items work? Like, can you find like a quick axe of slaying, or is it just like, hey, here's a steel sword that has 2 more damage than the other steel sword? Like, what are we talking about?
I've seen both. I've seen like, okay, this is like a really cool like bardiche or like an axe or something, and then I've seen like that same pixels of that axe, but like this is like the better version of that axe, and I think it might have like a slightly different palette or something to it, but not often. Most of the time, I just see unique stuff all the time. I keep seeing like new things every time.
Oh, so there's a lot of unique items.
There is a lot of unique items, like especially if you go dungeon hunting for them.
Okay, and what are we talking about?
You do find like your collection of like, okay, this is like the same like, this is the same broadsword that I found. I got like 5 of those. I got 5 of these like spears, but like you do find a lot of unique stuff too. Yeah.
What's unique on the items? Is it just like modifiers on it?
Better stats, and also the actual art. Like I found a claymore, and then I found like Oh God, what is it? It was a prayer claymore, and it had like a really cool like cloth wrapped around the base of it. It looked like a holy sword, kind of the way it was,
Huh.
like you would use in a ceremony or something.
Okay.
And it had like slightly better stats
Nice.
than the normal claymore. It was pretty cool.
And then you're playing solo here. I've a lot of the streams that I've watched have all been co-op.
Yeah,
It seems
it's
like
got really
kind of
fun
the way to
co-op.
play is co-op. Would you agree with that or no?
But I've had fun with both.
Yeah.
Honestly, like running around by myself, but I'm streaming, so I'm with chat, so that's like I'm kind of still hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah, co-op's really fun because one person can be like the melee and one person can be like the mage or whatever, and the melee can distract an enemy and get the aggro, and the other person can run around like doing damage to it behind its back. There's a lot of like two for stuff that you can do.
That's not. Sorry, I'm trying to find combat here so we can see a little bit of it.
Oh yeah.
And the VOD. Seems like a lot of exploration is kind of what you get. What would you say like percentage exploration of combat to traversing in town if you were to
There's a lot
up?
more running around because there's no fast travel.
Oh.
At all in the game, and you can do that. That's the thing. You need the patience for the game. Like it can be a little bit annoying. Like you need to stock up on food and water, and then there have been times where it's like, I'll just fill up my water in this river, and then drink it and get parasites, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to boil the water. I'm gonna go back to town and like sleep on my bed again because you have to sleep to get your health and stamina back.
Okay. Huh. All right. Is the co-op pretty like drop in, drop out? Is it simple to set up?
Yep. The host is the only one who gets quest progress. But you get to keep all your items if you join someone else's game. So if you go on crazy adventures, you go right back to where you were when you leave, but you keep all your stuff.
If the game is like quest based, main story based, when you're playing co-op with people, how does it progress for each person? Is it only the host kind of has their stuff?
Only the host gets quest progression. You go back to wherever you were when you left your game.
Okay. Do you like that? Is that fine?
I would prefer it another way, but like at the same time, I know that it's a pain for devs to like figure out a system. Like even like the Far Cry devs have trouble with that. Where how do you make it not chaos where you join someone else's game and then you make progression, but you weren't at the same place when you first joined them, and it like it gets all messy. Yeah, I don't know how you would do it.
Sure, that makes sense.
So I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Yeah. I understand why as well. Here's a little bit of.
I like that spell right there.
Is that just like a flame blast spell?
You have to have your lantern out and you use it to like channel your fire energy and blast things like you're using like bug spray.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
You got some good crafting stuff. Like you just got ghost eye. What is ghost eye used for?
There's a lot of alchemic crafting and item crafting, and you can get recipes from merchants, or you can try to guess them. And like, there's like 4 like blank slots you can put random items into, and it'll be like this didn't craft anything, and a random chance to ruin the items too.
Okay, interesting. What is this game? Is this $40, $30? What does it cost?
Oh God, I'm not sure what it costs right now. I think it's 30.
Zeke, are you steaming it?
$39.99.
$39.99. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
40
seen,
is 40.
Oh, I've seen a lot of people super into this.
Yeah.
Chat's asking me to ask you about spell combos. What are we talking here?
Oh, spell combos? Yeah, like, okay, so you can see on my 1 button in the bottom right there's like a fire sigil. So I have this spark on number 2 button right there. And the spark, like, if something's standing right next to you, it has no range, but you can spark them and, like, catch them on fire or whatever. But, obviously they're going to beat the shit out of you with their weapons. So the fire sigil actually modifies that, so it becomes a fireball that flies, like, a pretty good distance. And there's a lot of like spell synergy like that in the game where like if someone else went a different spell school from you, you could figure out like combos that work together. So you'd be like, put your thing down and then my electricity arcs instead of like doing a normal thing. Yeah.
So technically when you're playing like co-op with somebody, you don't have to have like, all right, you're a tank and I'm a caster, or you
don't have to.
Okay.
You can find interesting combos. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah. I didn't know if it was like traditional in that sense that you have to have a tank to like fight certain mobs.
Yeah, no, not in this game. You can like kite stuff around everywhere and put booby traps down with tripwires and like, yeah, you can modify those. If you put a weapon, they become a spike trap. If you put an explosive, they become an explosive trap, etc., etc.
Are there like, I guess boss mobs? Like, are there unique mobs? Like,
yes.
Okay. And
there are.
They have like different abilities, more HP, all the above.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
You kind of run into your random trash mobs and like they're like kind of like boring to fight, and then you run into stuff that like throws you for a loop a little bit as you progress through the game.
Any like quick saving stuff, or are you pretty much
just kind of saves where you are all the time? Doesn't let you save.
Okay, cool. So it's kind of forcing you down the.
You can't cheese it.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Did you guys? I may have missed it. Did you guys talk about the story, like the?
Yeah, not
The story's
really.
interesting, actually.
Yeah, what? How? Like,
That's what'll keep me going. Is it like intriguing,
You'd like it, Zeke, I
interesting?
think. Yeah, okay. So first of all, you come in on a ship at the beginning because you've just been out like getting treasure with your friend. You like put together like an expedition. You got a big giant like galleon ship, and you were like, all right, we're going away for 4 months because okay. The story is your bloodline. I forget what they did. They did something in your village. If your bloodline does something like negligent or like that ends in the deaths of other villagers or whatever, then you get like a blood price on your bloodline, and everyone in that bloodline is responsible for paying off the blood price. So you owe a shit ton of money at the beginning of the game, right?
Klingon, dude.
Yeah, basically. So you're coming back on the ship and you're like, going to pay off my blood price, and then the ship gets caught up on some rocks and everyone dies, and you wake up in the village and all the villagers are yelling at you like, you went away for 4 months and you owe us like $400 right now. And the mayor's like, calm down, everyone. We'll give them a couple more days. And so your first mission is literally get 400 silver to pay off your blood debt, which is actually like 1,400, I think, all told. But like that's like the payment they want.
jeez.
And or you can figure out different ways to do that. Like you don't necessarily have to give them the money. You can find it at like someone and get a favor from them, et cetera, et cetera.
You got to pay down the principal, man, because the juice is
pay down
running.
the principal. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And then after that, you find out that there are 3 factions in 3 cities across the world, and then you can choose to progress the story by joining one of those factions.
Huh. Okay.
And the playthrough is different, I guess, depending on which one you join. So it has replayability from that.
So kind of
Very
the story's pushing you around to explore more is kind of what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So chat, a couple people mentioned the voice acting. What's the deal?
The voice acting's not exactly. Well, sometimes I don't know. I wouldn't say it's bad voice acting. I would say it's half-ass voice acting in terms of okay, they recorded a bunch of voice acting, and then at some point they decided to make the dialogue more robust, so it doesn't match, and it also doesn't cover all of it. So you'll get like maybe the first sentence or two sometimes, and also the wording's completely different sometimes, and then you have to read the rest yourself.
Huh.
And it happens a lot.
Okay. So,
It happens a lot.
so like the fucking actors didn't get the new pages, basically. That
Yeah,
day.
pretty
It's
much.
like,
That's what I think happened. I think they
fucking, am I
couldn't
late for the
afford to bring it back
recording?
in.
Shit, he already left.
Yeah.
God damn it! I got new pages.
Yeah. But you can turn it off, whatever.
Is it like is it here's a dialogue or sorry, like 2 sentences of dialogue and they're just like ugh, or is it them saying things
they
that don't
literally
match?
read it almost word for word,
Oh,
like for the
okay.
first sentence or so, and then you can tell that like they changed stuff because the word for word isn't quite word for word.
All right.
Or
Yeah.
they hired improv actors, which was a bad choice.
Yeah, they just
yeah.
went to an improv factory and
Like,
got
we
all
can't pay you
the.
to
Just go
read this
crazy. Get the
entire-
gist of it. You're fine.
Just do the first sentence. That's all we can afford.
Jeez. All right.
Someone else was saying, oh yeah, that was only the negative thing. Yeah, those are
But is the voice acting actually good though? Like, are they good?
It's
Does
decent.
it sound
It's not
like
amazing. Like it ranges
Okay.
from decent to good.
Okay.
like
maybe
community
one or two
theater
bad.
to like off Broadway?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 bad.
Okay.
It's amateur, yeah.
It's not the worst.
It is bad, people are saying. I don't know. I've heard some bad voice acting in my video gaming career, and I would put it like a little bit above that. I don't know, whatever.
Oh,
The
dude.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a connoisseur of bad voice acting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I love
Like,
everything
there's
from
mincing,
English
yeah.
to can't read.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
It's out on PC, PS4, and Xbox, right? Like it's on consoles
Yeah.
as well. Do you know anything, or can you speak to the quality of the console? Because this is PC that
I
we're
heard the
watching here.
consoles had a lot more glitches. I heard PS4 players were having trouble with co-op, but they patched that recently. So yesterday in chat, everyone was happy.
Okay.
I guess is my only knowledge.
Is it $40 across the board for those as well? Let me
Unsure.
see. What is this? Outward? Yeah, $40 as well. What the? You
I
can
thought I was
already
gonna be a big badass and like kill that bird right there, and then it ruined my day. Look at my health; it's like literally like a little. And I was like, I'm just gonna kill this bird. I progressed in
Wait,
this game,
where
and
is
then
your
it ruined me.
Where is your HP? Oh, on the
It's
left.
the red,
on the left.
the red circle. I just had
Okay.
to take a potion. Yeah.
What is that bar at the bottom center?
That's like you say. There's this thing called impact, and weapons like that are bludgeons and whatnot have impact. And if that bar goes all the way down, then you fall down, and then you have to like get back up, and things can hit you while you're getting back up. Yeah.
Okay.
And the enemies have that too. You can knock them down.
Okay.
A business question: how is it streaming? Like numbers wise, is it pretty good?
Really
Pretty average?
good. People love watching this
Is it
game.
pretty-
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it seems like this game has enough exploration and like unique events that I've watched a decent amount of different like co-op streams, and a lot of things occur to those specific streamers that did not occur on other streams that I've watched. Granted, they've kind of been in the same areas, but there's been enough like random stuff occur where it's like, oh, okay, well, these guys are actually getting fucking destroyed here, whereas these other people I watch, this is a breeze for them. So
yeah, it can be a really chill game. The only problem is chat like really kind of can't keep their mouth shut sometimes.
Oh,
when
it's
you're
getting pretty
playing it.
backseaty.
Oh, my surprises.
Is there a lot of like in the realm of backseating? Is there a lot to like unearth or explore on your own?
Yeah,
in terms of game mechanics?
there's like people have their meta optimal like magic builds or whatever else, and they want to tell you like how to be the best, like because they can't watch you and have you not be the best. I guess
that makes sense. I get it. They want to share their experience. Yeah, what the
this
fuck
thing
are you
ruins
fighting?
my day. This thing just absolutely ruins my day. I'd seen dead things like around the world, like a big battle happened at some point. I'm pretty sure it's a post-apocalypse. There's a lot of technology that's like all rusty everywhere, and you see these dead things everywhere. Like they fought like robots that were like defending, and you see their dead bodies. And that was the first time I saw a live one, and it just one shots me.
You just got one.
Yeah, and then you can see when I come back here, it says like your body and mind are broken. It gives you like a random. Luckily, there's a tower in the area, and I believe that the hermit came and like saved me.
Huh. Okay.
So there are actually area specific like events that happen if you die too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Zeke, can you ask him about the randomized loot at all and weapon variety? Yes, I can.
The randomized loot and weapon. Yeah, I've heard that. I've opened like chests in the dungeons, and you can get an ornate chest, and I think it pretty much dice rolls like what fancy items you'll get.
Oh.
And then the regular chest dice roll like what kind of regular items you'll get and stuff like that. So it's not always the same thing. But there are items placed in the world that are static, like a certain lantern or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm sure just like story specific items, stuff like that. So
yeah,
well,
but
I gotta say, like,
sure dice rolling.
Yeah.
Everything you've said about this game so far is really selling me on it. It has controller support. It's kind of an open world. It's third person. You can choose different builds and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of go your own path and that kind of shit. And even the voice acting, the way you talked about it is even a plus in my category because I'm really excited to hear it now.
I could definitely see you enjoying it. Definitely.
In terms of to go back to the co-op, just some quick questions to throw at you. Does it change the difficulty of mobs based on co-op or not? Does it scale with that?
I actually don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it just becomes a little bit easier because of having another person deal with things, and also they can get you up.
Okay.
If you get knocked down.
Chad is saying it scales. It should.
Does it really? Okay, I wasn't sure. Yeah.
And then secondly, if Bob is in the middle of town and Sally is out in a dungeon, is there anything that restricts them from being like, oh, you can't? What?
Yeah, you have to like be together in whatever instance that you're in. So you can be together in the open world. You can actually separate in the open world and go across the map. But if someone wants to enter a dungeon, it's like waiting for player 2.
Okay.
Fast travel?
Yeah, so they have to be at the door.
There's no fast travel. Well, yeah, is there fast travel between the different people in the game? Like, can I fast travel back to my friend?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for chat confirmation. Chat saying no.
I heard travel gets easier, but no one said specifics. Thankfully, I shut it down. I was like, don't tell me.
Okay, good.
I know there's no fast travel.
Does it feel like it needs fast travel, or is it okay with that?
Sometimes only like because you're like, I've traveled across the world, and this mob is like, I need this ingredient, and you're like, oh, I left that ingredient back in the main town on the other. Fuck.
Oh, that's that's kind of
shit. It's and the same thing, same problem I had with Red Dead. It's just like, or the tedious shit. Can I just please go to the town and get my hat, please? The hat I want, please. Don't make me ride all the way across the fucking goddamn desert for my fucking hat that I want.
Sure.
But luckily, there's enough stuff to do that you can back burner that stuff and be like, no, when I get back over there, I'll be able to grab the thing and remember.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So you can do like things along
there's
the way.
There's a lot of things going on in every location, like a lot of things.
Cool.
Okay.
There's a lot of secrets to find too. It's cool.
Well, that's all I got in terms of questions. I think the game feels a little slow for me. So I don't know if I'll check it out, but yeah, Zeke, go ahead.
Graphically, 1440, 60 FPS, all that goodness.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, it runs well. I haven't seen anyone really complain about like bugs and all that stuff. It seems fine. It doesn't seem that buggy. Seems like they're patching it. Okay, cool. Seems good. Zeke, are you gonna check it out? You said it. Checked all your boxes that you're interested in. You're already sold on it.
It's in my shopping cart already.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
There you go. A bunch of people are asking the final question on not Outward. No, that's the name of it. Why they need a fucking more distinct. It's a goddamn high fantasy name. Call it like Bilboa, the Great Adventure. Like
right. Yeah.
Well, just pronounce it like it's a foreign word. Just pronounce it like twad.
Yeah. Some pretentious elf name.
Yeah, give me a pretentious elf name.
Twad.
Give me a goddamn pretentious elf name. That's what I want.
Alduin, Chapters of Fate.
Yeah, great. Perfect. Alduin. I already remember that. You asked me later in the episode. It's Alduin. It's a great game. I'm into it.
Well, it's no Kingfinder Pathmaker, but...
Yeah, fuck that game name, too. They need to get some better names out of this high fantasy shit. People were asking me to ask you about timed events. What are the timed events in the games? Do you know the answer to that?
Oh, yeah, the timed events. Yeah, there's a couple quests in the game where they don't specifically tell you. Well, like the first quest, when you owe the 400 silver, you can fail state that. If you go off and like don't do it, they will foreclose your house, basically. And you're like, oh, well, gotta restart. No, that's a fail state. I also like that the game fail states you. In some ways, because it's like what games have the balls to do that lately? But that's just personal taste. But yeah, there's also like there's a quest where the whole first town can be, and that's a spoiler. I'm sorry, can be like just taken away. Like so, you just have to keep your eye out for anything that threatens that first town. I mean, it doesn't trigger unless you progress the main story. So whatever.
Cool.
Oh, the music is good. Someone was saying.
Yeah, we didn't actually ask about the music.
Kind of important to me.
Yeah, is it?
The music in the game. Good? The music's awesome, but it loops. So some people have a problem with that. I didn't mind it. I just kind of zone out. But the music is really catchy. I really enjoy it, but it's not like, situational.
How fast is the loop?
Each area has different theme. The loop is like probably like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not really, it's not bad.
Perfectly fine. Most loops in games really are like catchy, a minute.
So I didn't mind it. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems okay. Seems good. Seems strong.
Cool.
Zeke, obviously you were in Japan. Since last.
Yeah, I was in Japan and I want to show everybody what I got.
You got some goodies. I know that.
I got Transformers.
Now, are you planning on opening the Transformers, or are they going to stay boxed?
They're pre-opened.
Oh, they're already pre-opened. Okay.
Yeah, but that's like a huge thing in Japan. Is that?
Oh yeah, you got Soundwave.
Buy a thing, open it, display it for a little while, pack it back up like pristinely in the package they got it in. And then sell it back to like basically toy pawn shop.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
They're everywhere. Like used figure shops and gacha shops are fucking everywhere. Like when I was at the big I can't remember the name of the mall, but it's like an outdoor/indoor mall. Like there's some of it that's outside, some of it that's inside, but it's all like a walking mall.
Yeah.
And it's like every fifth store is like a figurine store.
Okay.
Or like a collectible store. Like, but it's mostly like anime, Gundam.
Are they all like themed, so they don't really compete with each other?
Some of them are, but most of them are pretty similar.
I'm just wondering how that happens without them stepping on each other's toes.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
They probably don't give a shit.
Like the way they avoid that is my figurines are better priced than his figurines. They're exact same.
All right, I got you. All right. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Mine are in better quality or whatever the fuck. But it's very, very similar shit. But with any collectible, you'll see like, oh, they got the green towel fucking lady.
The rare.
That was a rare one. She usually comes in a blue towel. Green towel one is like 10 times the price and shit like that. It's I mean, if you've ever been into any hobby collectible like yourself, you understand like the difference. Like,
sure,
it's like getting an error card in Magic. You're like, oh shit,
oh yeah,
it's got the wrong text on it, man. This is a rare card.
It's a rare card, yeah. I won't ask you too much about Japan. Go watch his recap that he did yesterday on his channel for that. But did you partake in any mobile games or Switch games on your trip over there? Or is it just kind of like, I'm going to focus on Japan?
I got hooked on like during my train rides.
Yeah.
I got hooked on Baba Is You.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Baba Is You, such a fucking great puzzle game. It's so good.
I gotta find.
I love it.
Let's pull up a trailer here
It's
because we haven't talked
brutal
about
too,
this.
though. It's so brutal.
Yeah, like what?
I was raging during that game. So
Did you stream it, Bike? Because I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
it was
cool.
brutal.
I streamed it too a little bit.
Oh, you did?
On,
Okay, I'll grab
on
some
an
footage
indie
of
day.
it. Let me grab some footage of it then. Yeah, let's
No,
talk
it
about
was
that.
so great. Whenever I figured something out, that's exact. Sprinter had it right. Like chat would put in like it would type "chat is proud." Like when I figured out a fucking puzzle, it's great. Baba Is You. I talked about it a little bit, but it's a fantastic game. That is a sentence structure puzzle game, meaning you have like movable blocks of parts of English speech. So you have a subject, a verb, and an object sometimes, or sometimes you have a subject, a verb, and like a predicate adjective or something like that. Like Baba is water. You can make Baba is water, or Baba is you. Like you can switch it around from Baba is you to like rock is you, and then you're the fucking rock. Like Baba just stays still and stops dead in its tracks, and you become the rock. And everything has properties. If you press the pause menu on any puzzle screen, it'll have all the rules that are set at the moment. It'll say, like on this particular map, it says, if I press pause, it would say wall is stop, Baba is you, rock is push, Baba is melt, lava is hot, flag is win. Those are the rules. But some of them you can switch around. So if I took the lava and I pushed it over to where, the vertical says rock is push.
Yep.
If I put lava in place of push,
I think you're about to do that right now, Bod.
the rock, yep. See the rock turn to lava.
But you can't touch it yet because it's hot, right?
Well, lava is hot and lava is melt. So
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Anything that's hot, and if anything that hot will melt anything that is melt.
Sure.
However, the thing that's kind of weird to get used to is if I just took the push off of rock is push, so it was just rock is, it would be nothing. It would be just a sprite on the screen. You could walk through it. You can't push it. You can't touch it. Can't anything. It's just a nothing now, which is one of the first lessons they teach you. Like, this is not a spoiler because it's like the second or third puzzle, because you're like surrounded by a wall, and games teach you like, well, you can't go past the wall. But in this game, if there's no wall is stop, the wall doesn't even exist. It's just color on the screen. So you just like, you figure out, you're like, how the fuck do I figure out this puzzle? And then by accident, I walked into the wall and went, oh, the wall has no property.
Right.
So it doesn't even exist. And it's shit like that. You're just like, oh, fuck, that's great.
Dude, I think on that one, I did wall is you, and I became the entire level. I just walked to the exit as the wall.
You become if you put wall is you become that entire wall and you move the entire fucking thing. And if you get to the flag, you win. But it's not always flag is win. And that's where they like throw curveballs at you. Because one of them you win by making, and you can make like corner shapes. So you have like Baba is you, and then if you can manage it, Baba is win, you win.
So it seems like this game, from what I've talked to a bunch of people that played this game, it seems like it gets very frustrating very fast because the puzzles get very fucking difficult. Is that accurate?
Yes,
They
but
do
mostly
get
because
frustrating.
there's no pulling, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
There is pulling.
Oh,
Later.
there is pulling.
Oh, later? Wow. Yeah, because people would see me
add
rewinding.
lots of mechanics.
Yeah, there's a rewind function, and people would assume that there was a pull mechanic if they were watching, but it was just rewinding.
Huh. Okay.
Something against the
If
wall,
you press
and have to
one of the
reset,
buttons, you go back a step. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, it's super hard. Super good.
So you
puzzle
see
game.
see the X's right there? It says flag is jelly. Well, flag can't be jelly because jelly is win. Whatever it is first, it stays that.
Oh fuck.
Even if you put something else,
It's already
it can be
stressing
two
me out.
things, but it can't change from something it is already. So flag can be jelly and be push, but if it says flag is flag, see the flag is flag right at the top. I can't get to that. So flag is flag, which means
No matter what.
that flag will never change. Like you can't change that. You can't get to that.
I'm already stressed out.
No, okay, let me just put it to you. Let me just tell you this. It starts off baby simple. Like
Sure.
Really super simple. And it just sucks you in. And then you'll get to a puzzle and you'll just sit there and fucking like I was stuck on a puzzle for like 3 hours. I went back, like granted, I went back, did some other ones because it's all level based. It's not like linear, so to speak. You can do other puzzles, so you don't have to like if you get stuck on one, you
It's
don't
like
have
Super Mario
to.
3. Like on the overworld, you can go to different places instead.
Sure.
Exactly. But 3 hours, I would like do a puzzle, come back to that one, do a puzzle, come back to that one, and eventually, it's a great game for aha eureka moments, where you sometimes you're like, I'm a fucking genius, or sometimes you're like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like how could I not see that? And it's terrible to play with chat sometimes because I was like, why doesn't he just do this? Like there was one puzzle that I took like 30 minutes to beat because I knew how I wanted to do it. But someone in chat was like, why doesn't he just push these two things together? It was like a 4-move solution.
Yeah.
And I was like, just fuck you, dude. Fuck that. I got it. I finished it. All right. I did it my way. Eat a dick.
Sure.
But it's so great. It's a wonderful game.
How many like I guess levels are there? If you know off the top of your head, like how many puzzles are there?
I'm not sure, but I want to say like there's like at least 75 to 100.
Holy shit. Okay.
Oh, there's 200 plus.
Lot,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't get very far.
200
Like I got through like 5 levels of 10. So there must be like other worlds that I haven't even fucking seen yet.
Yeah. That
I have a
seems-
lot of respect for the meticulous planning that must go into designing these puzzles. You have to out anticipate what everyone would do to like cheat it. It's crazy.
Well, I feel like this game you want to cheat it. Like I don't think you can cheat this type of game. Like if you finish and solve the puzzle, then good for you.
I had that very same argument like right away in chat. It's like, well, that wasn't the intended solution. I said, fuck you, it wasn't.
Yeah.
You don't think they thought of that?
What the
Oh boy, they did.
Yeah. This game's all about cheating. It's changing the mechanics of the game to bend to your will to solve the puzzle, right? Like, you can't cheat.
You know what I mean? There's intended outcomes and unintended outcomes, and they try to like narrow it down a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
There's the clever way and the long way sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
The 30-minute way or the 2-second way.
Yeah. I don't know, to kind of speak to the developing a game like this. I don't know the type of brain that could sit here and be like, all right, well, let's make an interesting puzzle that's unbelievably difficult, but also very simplistic and super clever. Like that's a special type of brain that just I'm in awe of for sure. Because these type of games are lost on me.
What Wolfer A? I'd love you to put this if you could put that up. Wolfer A linked a Twitter post, and someone made like a Space Invader out of Baba Is You, just with sentences like
Letters, yeah.
me is move, Baba is push, Baba is move, Kiki is move, Orb is melt, Rose is hot, like that kind of shit. Like
Wow.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's really cool.
There it is. Oh Lord. So is there a level editor in this game, or is this just a level that they made?
It seems like it with that. I didn't like explore that aspect of it, but it seems like there is.
Huh. That's a little fun.
There is a level editor. Okay, thank you.
Now, I would assume since this person's playing this that you can share those levels, which I think is probably like the best part about all that. If you can share the levels that people create, then like technically that game is endless because people will just continue. It's like Mario Maker in that sense. People just continue making fucking harder and harder puzzles, for sure.
Well, as long as they keep providing the rule blocks, meaning adding new and different rule blocks, it could be infinite because all you need are nouns and verbs, or nouns, verbs, and adjectives.
Right. Oh, that's clever. You made flag not be stop, and now you can pass through it.
Yep.
Oh, and now flag is one. You're just kind of like, fuck this shit. I'm fucking.
Oh no! That was me like flexing. I was like, "Fuck yeah! Fuck you! Think I can't do this shit?"
Gotcha.
Like I was flexing a little bit. Yeah,
Sure.
The worst though.
No, when you
Zeke,
figure it
don't you
out, man,
agree?
it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Don't you agree though that like the worst was when you were stuck on a particular puzzle and then you go to the next stage and it's that same one with a slight variation and you're like, oh god damn
They
it,
do that.
it's
They do
brutal.
that. They do like one puzzle and then you go to the next one and it's that puzzle but a little bit harder. And you're like, oh motherfucker!
Oh, boy.
I'm stuck on the other one. How do you think I'm gonna figure this shit out?
What if all the puzzles are like one screen, what is like the most complex that you guys saw? Like how many different functions, I guess, were they up to when you guys were
I
playing?
didn't get to really high functions. It was mostly like moving the letters puzzles like that, and then I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. Zeke's going somewhere. I don't know where he's going. Yeah, because I've seen like where you can do multiple. You can do like strings here, where it's like flag is push.
Yeah, you
but I
need
think
an and.
you need an and
and
there,
statement.
instead of an is.
Yeah.
But you can do like flag is push and open, or flag is push and win, and that type of stuff. Oh, Zeke went to go get a Switch to see. Okay, gotcha.
It's a perfect Switch game. It's a perfect Switch game.
Yeah, I guess there's not much to it. 'Cause
It's
one
great because
screen.
it's just level by level. Pick it up, put it down. Great.
Yeah, sure. Are you checking to see or show us the most recent level? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna show you like where I am in the game.
Gotcha. It's $14.99 for those that were wondering. It's on Switch. I know it's on Steam.
Is it the same? I was wondering if it was the same price on. I was looking it up on Switch to see how much it was
I'll do that.
because I know on Steam it's $14.99, but I'm not sure if it's the same on Switch. Sometimes the prices are different.
It's loading. Hold on. Nintendo.com is lagged. It is not listed. What the fuck? Oh yeah,
$15.
$15. It's just flat $15.
Switch eShop. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
It's 1 penny less on Steam, but I wouldn't get it on Steam
Really? You'd say
if you have a Switch.
okay. Yeah, I would. They got to port that to. That seems like it'd be so.
I have
so good on a
completed
phone.
55 levels.
Okay. Can you show us the
Yep.
most recent level? I'm just curious. Okay. So it looks like some of the
There, I'm right there.
complexity
Well,
comes from like.
this would be easier to show you. Those are the rules.
Oh, holy shit! That's more than I could see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are
Jesus.
the rules. The rules in this particular level are key is open, fungus is shut, fungus is pull, fungus has flag, fungus is win, baba is you, hedge is stop, leaf is move, key is push, leaf is leaf, leaf is defeat, foliage is defeat.
Okay.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
It gets great.
My brain hurts. I'm done. I'll never.
Well,
touch
but that's the thing. It progresses really slowly. It starts like 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And then you have a few three rules, 3
Yeah.
rule rooms.
It
And then
builds
4
on
rules.
itself.
It's so progressive that it doesn't feel like it just jumps you into a hard one.
Yeah, that's good. All right, maybe I have a flight coming up. Maybe I'll check in. Maybe we'll jump into it. Maybe I'll be an idiot savant at Bob Is You because I'm not going to be smart at it. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to breeze through those levels.
I guarantee you, JP, you will surprise yourself. You go like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah, but here.
yeah, I'm a fucking genius." Just drop the switch. I'm a
Here's
genius.
here's how it'll go. Here's how it'll go. I'll do the first 3 levels and be like, "Fuck yeah, I'm real smart." Then I'll hit a thing where it's like, "All right, you got to spend more than 10 minutes thinking about this, JP," and I'll be like, "Let's go to the next game. What's this? Oh, mindless fucking action game. Great, let's go."
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll get the fuck away
Well-
from it quick.
Compared to that computer programming game that I played on Indie Sunday, like
Yeah,
this was like that was like a cold cubicle. This one is like after that was like a warm blanket.
Okay.
No,
sure.
with all that fucking coding basic language, it's just ugh. It was satisfying, but it was so dense.
I get that. I do want to ask you questions about Japan. You visited Akihabara, which is a big kind of, I would say, a gamer's
Electric
destination. Yeah, for people that play video games that know about Tokyo and whatnot. They will go to the shops in Akihabara. Did you visit the 4th floor of the famed? I think it's Super Potato that has the 4th floor. Did you go there? to
We
see-
live streamed it.
Wait, you live streamed the entire like hentai floor, or is that a different store I'm thinking of?
A different store.
Different store.
Super Potato is all used video games, and it starts like time periods. It's like late 70s, early 80s, 80s, 90s, 90s, 2000s, and then arcade upstairs, arcade fourth floor.
Gotcha. Did you go to the famed floor 4 somewhere?
Yeah, that was in a what store was that? I can't remember the name of that store. Because it's like a I want to say it's like a 6 or 8 story shop.
Yeah.
Mandrake. There it is. Thank you very much. Yeah, Mandrake. Mandrake has places all over the place, but the one in Alcabra is the one you're talking about. And yes, I did visit that floor. We did not live stream that.
Right. You couldn't. I would assume.
I honestly thought you might be able to because of the Japanese taboo with pubic hair and that kind of stuff. Like it's blurred out and whatnot.
Yeah.
Boy. No, it's full on, like full dick, full bush, like full vagina, the whole shebang bang. Nice. I was surprised. I honestly thought like they adhered to certain like social rules or whatever when it came to hentai and porno and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
not the case.
Are we talking like it was just like walking into a porn shop, or was it even more awkward because it was all like hentai?
It was less awkward.
Really?
It's a normal ass thing, man.
Oh,
I mean, they put that shit like a floor above kids' toys. Like the floor below is like,
I get that.
I mean, not kids' toys, but like collectibles for like One Piece and shit like that.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
It's like a normal happening, but with anime, not with real people porn.
Right.
Real people porn, you go to a completely different area. Mm-hmm. But if it's animated or drawn porn, then it's totally like not mixed in, but like within like the same store structure.
No, I get you. I understand. And then in terms of just video games, like what was the if you could encapsulate such a thing, what was the coolest thing you saw in relation to video games while in Japan?
I saw and played. It was like a jukebox for the Famicom.
Okay.
It wasn't like you know how like some like stations that was like 50 games in one. This was that, but you could see inside all 50 games were like there. But it was just like on a switcher.
Oh,
like
so it's like all
the
carts were there, like with the art and everything on them, and then okay. Huh.
Yep. That was pretty cool. Because I was like, oh, it's a 50-in-1. And he's like, and Adam pointed out, I was like, no, look. And I looked in there. It was kind of dusty and smoky because, back before 2000, like you could smoke anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can still smoke at a lot of places. But it was kind of dingy. And I looked at it, so I had to really like kind of peek in. I went, oh shit, all the cartridges were right in there. Pretty cool.
Most expensive thing, video game related that you saw?
They
probably gotta have some crazy shit.
At a store in the mall area. It was a specialty antique game store.
Okay.
It was like a game pawn shop, new and used, but by the door they had like their crown jewels, and they were like they weren't English games, or they weren't Nintendo games. They were Famicom games.
Right.
But it was like not track and field, but the family sports or whatever the fuck, the holy grail of Nintendo games.
Yeah.
But like times 5. It was like $25,000 or 250,000 or what would that be?
250,000 yen?
No, 2 million yen.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
It's you move the decimal twice.
Right. Okay. Fuck.
Ish.
Stadium events, is that what it is? Or family fun?
Yeah, stadium events, but their games there, since they like made the games. They were like the first people to make the games. They have rarer and different games. So like I saw like I want to say at least a dozen games that were $10,000 and above.
Jeez.
Oof. Just carts with the boxes.
Are we talking like mint condition boxes or just like
some of them?
Jeez. Okay. Huh.
Well, that's part of the culture though as well. Like the Transformers.
Yeah.
They keep everything, boxes, cellophane. They open them like very
meticulously,
precisely. Open it, play the game. play it till they're done with it, put it back, put the cellophane back over as best I can, and sell it back to the store or to a store.
All right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Very huge used market there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. With your trip overall, are you already planning a return trip? Is it type of thing where you didn't really see half of it or a third of it?
Well, the first trip I went with Adam.
Yeah.
We know Adam Coble.
Sure.
Adam Coble's
Yeah, he's awesome.
a sophisticated gent.
Of course.
He's all about art and culture and, going to drink expensive whiskey in a 12-person bar,
Yeah.
which I love. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love. But when I go back, I'm going to check out the seedy side of
You're going to go to the
Tokyo.
greasy side of Tokyo?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm going to all the weirdest, kinkiest places I can find.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You gotta go.
I love that side of it too.
Yeah.
In
there-
I loved looking at the museums, going to the parks, experiencing all the finer things they had to offer, the food, the culture, and all that shit. And I loved it. I absolutely loved every single second of it. But I'm gonna go back with my Dirty Japan friend who goes there every year for Tokyo Game Show, and we're gonna fucking get rowdy.
Nice.
I mean, not disrespectful,
right.
because I would never do that.
You just
Like
want to
people
see the seedy side
assumed.
of the city.
Like that was I was kind of offended. Like the first thing people were like assuming when we started live streaming from Tokyo is like, oh shit, Zeke's gonna piss off all the locals. It's like, no. I will get rowdy within the confines of social norms for the place I'm in.
Sure. You don't want to get banned from the country. That would just be bad.
Well, it's rude. I don't like to be rude.
Right. No, I get it. When you go back, you got to stay at one of those. I don't even know how to properly identify what they are, but it's one of those hotels where you basically pay a woman just to cuddle you while you sleep.
Like laps. Laps, I heard, was a big thing. Like you put your head on their laps.
Yeah.
Because they make pillows like that.
Something like that, yeah. And it's just that's what the entire experience is. It's just like a grown ass woman cuddling you for the entire night, and then you pay them, and that's it. That's all it is.
Like a comfort hotel. Love hotels are different. Love hotels are
different. Yeah,
they're just like pay by the hour rooms.
right. I'm talking like a
But
comfort.
I think a comfort hotel sounds more like what we're thinking of, because you pay the lady just to hold you or you hold her.
Yeah, there was a
which I think is awesome.
There was a Vice documentary a while back where someone went and did that. They also found Vice documentaries are always good. Good. There's one where they actually found someone who works for the Yakuza who had basically the equivalent of whatever they call hookers over there, and it was one of the extreme hookers that is basically like, hey, I'm going to hire you to just kick me in the nuts for the rest of the night. And that's what it was. That's what they did. That was that's it. It's in the documentary.
I missed that. Say it again.
They hired a hooker from the Yakuza that basically is into the crazy shit. And so they hired this hooker to basically kick this guy in the nuts for the rest of the night. And that's what they did.
Hey man,
Whatever your kink
like
is.
Dave Chappelle said, dude, everybody fucks funny to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's a thing. It's a thing over there. I like the guy in chat that's just like, that happens everywhere. Okay, dude, I'm sorry. I'm not up to date on fucking hookers of the world.
Oh, listen. Listen.
My bad, dude.
People who haven't been there make tons of generalizations like they know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've been to Tokyo and I've been to all of the the named burgs that you've heard of in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Shinjuku, Shibuya, Akihabara, Harajuku. I've been to all of them. We had stops in all of them, and I've been to all of them. And I'll tell you this. Yes, there's some different shit there, but it feels a lot like New York City.
Okay, I get
A
that.
lot like New York City. And I was scared that the language barrier would be a thing. You don't converse with anybody if you don't want to. That's the one best thing that the greatest thing that I took away from Tokyo is how streamlined everything is and how fucking simple it is to do shit. You go to a shop or you go to a restaurant that you want to eat at, and a lot of them at the door or in front of the door have a box. You put your fucking yen in. You pick your thing. You sit down. You have a ticket with your item on it. You hand it to the cook or the waitress. You don't even say shit. You hand it to them. They give you your bowl of ramen. Don't say shit. They say arigato gozaimasu, like thank you very much. And that's about it.
It's good. It's a good
So
way to live.
streamlined.
It's a good way to live. It's not a bad time.
There's some like mind-blowingly like simple, smart fucking things that we should institute everywhere. One of my favorite things, the fucking toilets. And I'm not saying they were like super high tech, but I'm saying like there's simple things like every toilet that I saw, I'm sure not every single toilet, but every toilet that I saw had by the flusher, it had a symbol pretend this is the flusher. Symbol above it for earth and a symbol below it for water. So you push it up for earth, push it down for water. Push it down for water. And also, most of the toilets I sat in had a fucking bidet.
Yeah, that's really common over there.
Which is fucking brilliant, of course.
Yeah.
Have that.
Yep.
It's so much cleaner, so much more sanitary.
Yeah.
The thing in our Airbnb that I thought was genius, and I think every toilet should have, when you flush the toilet, you know, the back tank fills up, right?
Yeah.
They have a faucet with a sink on the back tank. You wash your hands right there in the toilet or in the water that goes in the top tank. It's clean water. They put fresh, clean water. You wash your hands there, and it goes in the top tank. It's brilliant, but simple.
It's good. It's not bad. It's not a bad idea. We should just steal that everywhere. I think we're due for a break. When we come back from the break, we'll talk. Me and Bike will talk Sekiro. Zeke will take his headphones off for about 5 minutes. I'll probably talk a little bit about some Skyrim VR that I've been doing, and then I think we're going to do questions for the rest of the show until we get tired of it. So if you guys have questions,
and if you want to talk Japan, the guy in chat right now, Retro Gaijin, he's the person you want to talk to.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. If you have questions, you can go over to the Twitter account, twitter.com/dropframes. There is a question link, or the mods will be linking it up here in chat. We won't be taking questions from chat. We'll be taking them from that doc. Sometimes it's just too hard you guys spam a lot in all the best ways. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Drop Frames right after this. We'll see you guys in about 5 minutes or so. See you then.